For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Hey, it's Antron Brown, driver of the Macro Tools Top Fuel Dragster, and yes, I'm a 3-time world champ. But you know what? When I win, I go straight to WFO Radio, baby. I want to see you listening in.
It's time for an inside look at the most powerful motorsport on the planet. WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro. This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, we are live from the Texas Motorplex Stampede of Speed. Joe Castello, Scott Palmer, Nitro Sideshow. We had a great night last night. And yes, we're on location from the Tim's Trucking Suite in the iconic Texas Motorplex Tower. Scott, starting off the show, getting ready for the Fall Nationals. But let's just kick it back to last night. Wow. That turned out, I think, better than I thought it was going to go. Not that I thought it was going to go bad, but it was huge. What about your perspective? You put it all together. You organized everything. Lay it on us.
It was organized chaos. That's what it was.
It really was.
It was. I'm kind of a spur of the moment guy. I don't make good plans, but we all collected at the back of our pits and we came up with the game plan. Thanks to you and Westbuck, everybody that came back there and kind of helped me out. I'm a racer. I'm not a promoter, so these things just come up as wild ideas while I'm drinking beer. So that's. And they just always happen.
We didn't get to drink beer last night, though. After it was all over, it was.
Well, you left too early because we did.
Good. You're all right, though.
I'm okay.
So let's break down what happened for everybody, because we're going to plan on having this thing again. The Stampede of Speed is running wild. And first of all, I want to kick it back to. All right, we're in like day 4, day 5. It's all blurring together. I'm losing track. But the night of the concert, was that
huge?
That was huge. That was Sunday night. Brett Young is out there. This place is loaded with young fans of Brett Young and Wade Bowen, and some of them coming and walking into your pit. They didn't know what drag racing was at all. They thought it was like guys running around in high heel shoes. And instead, you guys put on a show. We had Alex out there. You guys ran the fuelers down. Just talk a little bit about that moment, that experience.
That was a great time. That was another deal. We had planned to run at an intermission, so it all pulled off right. We were going to make a single run, and then Billy and Christy decided, hey, that'd be cool to have two. So we brought out the other car, and then I raced Alex. So worked out good. I mean, we looked up in the stands, and the stands were a third full, and we're at a music festival. We're not at a drag race, but we got a lot of crossover fans. We had fans coming into our pits after the race and after the concert to see the cars, talking about the side bets they had made on it, because my sponsors and Alex's sponsors had a few wagers, a pretty good wager going on it. Now we have called a truce on that because technically he beat me for sure because I smoked the tires. His went right down, made a beautiful run, but he redlined.
He rolled the beam.
So,
but it wasn't really his fault. There was a little weird glitch, technical, whatever.
Well, we didn't care.
You can go double or nothing somewhere down the road.
We're going to go double or nothing.
That's the smart way. And so that was concert night. It was easily 15,000 people out here, guys. It was tremendous. And then last night, the Nitro Sideshow, I didn't know Stevie Fast was going to run. I didn't know Alex was going to run Madman Frankie Taylor. I didn't know all these things. Studezilla rolled out. We had a bunch of Nitro Pro mods. That was a $10 ticket if you brought a can of food. Like, all right, so best show for the best price ever in the history of drag racing. I'm saying it.
Right. Yeah, I believe so too. And I know Monday night's a tough night for fans and people to get out to come personally, but the social media feedback I've got, if I pulled up my phone right now, I couldn't even respond or look at the responses and messages I have. So I know it did something because people watch that on social media. I don't follow it and keep up with it like I should.
Yeah.
But the guys who do really
older gentlemen, like lay off guys, Palmer's blowing stuff up. He doesn't have time to be tweeting.
That's right. And Alex was picking on me last night, everybody. So I'm just going to tell you, old guys are coming back in style. That's what I told Joe on the interview. We're like bell bottoms. We're coming back.
Yeah, old guys are coming back, right? Look at this. Got us on the big screen. People are weighing in, puppy watching. Lauren out there. Camry Caruso somewhere in this tower. I don't know where she is. If she's somewhere in this tower, maybe we'll get her.
She should have been out there running with us. I would love to have a couple pro stocks next year run.
The quadras would be huge. But there's a point, like a lot of people have asked, hey, Top Fuel cars on the same track. There's going to be an event. You had to pull all your data acquisition out of the cars. Just so everybody knows.
Right.
They pulled all the data acquisition, so that was not useful for anything other than entertainment.
Bobby Lagana and Dom Lagana, they just sent me a message asking what I'd take for the data that I got last night. And Chad Head, he's got first dibs on it. So everything I got, I can sell. See, I just wish we'd had them all hooked up, because we did. We unhooked our data recorders and we had some NHRA guys here, and not that they didn't believe me, but I told them I wanted them to see it, that we're not doing that. We had no clocks, no times, which made it pretty awesome. To me, it made the show, because you can't believe how close those races look if you don't see the numbers.
A couple of years ago, and I know Alan Reinhart is going to be joining us seconds from now, we lost power at Charlotte. And we had no scoreboards, and it was just cars going down the racetrack, and you had to wait for some sort of indication if we won. There is something about that. I don't want to say get rid of scoreboards forever, but in occasional situations, especially like last night, it worked.
Right. And we're going to do this show at Tucson. I believe it's March 18th, the weekend before Phoenix NHRA race. And we're going to put on some kind of deal, like a mini national, a preseason deal, because a lot of the West Coast guys are not going to be able to go to preseason testing and go to Gainesville. So we're going to put on this deal at Jim Hughes track in Tucson. And we're going to do a nitro sideshow there on a weekend. And I believe we got confirmation that we're going to have an 8-car field of fuel cars. It's going to be funny cars against dragsters. It's going to be anything goes. First 8 will get to enter the race. It'll be kind of an invitation only.
Oh, very nice. And you ran Jeff Deal last night. You saw a Top Fueler versus funny car.
And I'm telling you, he was ahead of me for a little while, and I was getting nervous, because when I said that, I was a little cocky about that spot. And somebody said he gets 2 chances, and I honestly told him in the meeting, I said, give him 3. But I saw his full car for about 150.
I was impressed that you waited on the tree.
I did. I waited.
That was good.
I wanted it to be legit. I wanted it to be a race at the finish line.
Okay, so what do you think is the future? You already kind of quasi-announced next year you're going to be doing more. But the Scott Palmer Nitro Sideshow, to me, there's something there that isn't even defined yet. Like we had the first year, the crowd was whatever it was. Second year, they told us it was 10 times bigger. We raised thousands of pounds of food for Ennis and Waxahachie. There was a food drive going on. Just amazing stuff. You've got something good going on here.
Yeah, I believe it's something good. And I've run the full season, been in the top 10, and I love that. That was my lifelong dream. But what I really like to do is show off, no matter what it is.
The bandit. He is Bo Darville. Scott Palmer is Bo Darville. Write it down.
And Christy and Barry and, everybody here at the Motorplex have gave me the best facility, one of the best in the country, to show off at and help me grow this deal. This started off as kind of a joke, just to do this, get all these cars together and just raise some hell and do big burnouts. And the $500 I put up for best burnout.
Yeah, who got that? Was it Grabowski? Oh, Barker got it. Okay, because Grabowski was good too.
He was good. It was close.
It was close.
Okay. But I mean, Barker was willing to lose it all to get that $500.
He did lose it. He ran it out of fuel.
And he broke his car. Yeah, he broke the transmission, but whatever. It was a good burnout.
No, it was great times. All right, let's look ahead. What's the Fall Nationals now to keep it going?
Okay.
Now, what is your plan?
Now we have to switch gears. Right today, we run John Stouffer's Pro Mod. We run his team out of our shop.
Pro Mods tonight, guys. If you're in the area anywhere near, come on out. They're going to be hitting the track real soon. Got considerable money on the line.
Yeah.
Later on tonight, we got Top Dragster, Top Sportsman, Pro Mods. Tomorrow, the big champions dinner, $100, all the past winners, champions, and then Thursday into the Fall Nationals. So let's talk that transition.
Well, we'll run the race tonight, and then Wednesday is a test session, and I'm gonna try to sweet talk some people around here and see if we can test the Studebaker, because I need to make some runs. Obviously, it smoked the tires again last night, which it's done. And I get to a place like this, and I get excited And I know the track's so good, and I start adding primary weight, and I add some timing, and I should have left it alone, but I don't. I can't help it. I want this thing to be violent. I don't want it to slip down the track and make a soft run. I want to rotate the earth. That's what I built it for.
I saw Studezilla for the very first time in my life, guys, and on the track. I've seen it at SEMA. I've seen it at BRI. Palmer's had it in his pits. It's great, but seeing it in action is totally different. That thing is incredible.
It is the absolute coolest thing I've ever stepped on the gas in. And I've been 500 feet in. It has went 230 in the 8th mile, shutting off early. But I can't get it to do it all the time because I keep changing things. I can't leave it alone.
Stop changing things. Leave it alone.
Tomorrow we're going back. If we are able to make a few test runs, it's gonna happen.
Okay, so a reason for me to come out early. Scott, I don't want to keep you all day. Thank you very much.
Okay, but wait, you get back. I got you off track there.
Yes.
Then we switch. You're asking about the Fall Nationals.
Yes.
I can't get there that fast because I got so many things in my
So many things.
But then we switch gears again. So the guys are all here. They're servicing. They're top fuel all the way. They're servicing cylinder heads, superchargers, getting everything ready because this is Alex Laughlin's home area. He lives close to here, and we've been struggling with our early times in the dragster. So we've been testing on that. We were trying to learn stuff here, as much as you can without data. But both of those dragsters went pretty good. Those were pretty decent runs last night. My car last night made a decent run. If I was guessing, I would say it ran 310 at 275. And we had them back down, but we were still trying to learn stuff, for what we could without data.
Right.
But
every time down, you can learn something. Every time down the track.
So we want to be prepared for the Fall Nationals because this is Dallas. We want to do good here. It's going to be a tough show, so we have to get our shit together.
Yeah,
and that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Okay, well, I got you here. Got to ask you one more thing. Travis Pastrana. Wow, what a great cross promotion. I don't want to say that I thought negatively about it at all, but the word that I got, like Alex told Travis, hey, you should do this. And Travis was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll go run this, thing. But I was worried that he has done so many different extreme sports kind of things that he might say, yeah, it was okay, but, whatever. And exactly the opposite happened. What we all hope happens to everybody that comes out. He realized there's a million layers to this. It's not just smashing the gas and going straight. And it sounded like, just based on what he said and what, straight to camera, he said, didn't understand, like Tony Stewart told him, right? Tell that story. You don't know what you don't know.
The best part of the whole deal was Tony Stewart came over and asked if I needed some help with this project because, he knew how big it would be, especially in the other motorsports avenues. I mean, everybody else has pretty much got a bigger following than we do. We need to get some of their following.
Yes.
So he asked me if I needed any help with this project on Monday. This was Friday. And I said, absolutely. I mean, for me to explain to Travis Pastrana how to drive a top fuel car, probably, I don't think it would have sunk in as deep as if when Tony was explaining it to him.
And when he said that story to me, like, it was such great self-awareness because everybody has got an ego, right? But like Travis Pastrana hearing something from someone, it should be Tony. It made sense. Who has just gone through the process.
He just went through the process. He respects it so much that he's driving an A fuel car on Mondays, getting more laps before he gets back in a fuel car again. So I wanted Tony to help. And he was leaving at 10 a.m. Monday, and he canceled that. He came back out to track at midnight. We were out there at midnight, and Tony Stewart's backing. He was the backup girl, Tony Stewart is backing up Travis Pastrana. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. We have some great videos of that, and I know they're all out there, but just to have something like that happen. And my main goal was to make this good for our sport, not a joke, not a, hey, Travis Pastrana is going to come in and, he's going to be wild in the top fuel car. I want everybody to respect our sport, and he did. He really did.
Well, and what I had heard was, yeah, I'm going to drive this thing. I don't know. I don't want to get everybody stoked about anything, but it sounded like he might want to do it again.
Yeah, actually, when we were in the lounge when he was leaving, I did say, because he said, "Oh, yeah, that's cool. What do I do next?" I said, "Well, a good plan, if I were making it up, would be make some runs in the next year, get your license, he's busier than anyone probably.
Yeah, no, he's rock star status.
But you could drive a car, our car. He'll probably get back in it, and once we get him to 300, he wants to go 300 miles an hour. And I told him within a year, by the end of next year, I would love to see him run a national event.
Wow.
Can you imagine what it would do for our sport to have someone like that? There's a YouTube site out there that has, as of a week ago, 2.5 million views of Travis Pastrana driving the top fuel.
Unreal.
We are missing that. We need to get in on some of what we're missing.
We're in a silo a little bit,
Yeah,
right? Drag racing, that Tony liked it because it was its own little world. And sometimes we're only talking to the people in the little world, not realizing that there are thousands and thousands of people that don't even know what drag racing is. They just, it's not their fault.
Right.
They just don't know.
There
Either
was
way.
people here last night for the concert that had never been to a drag race. They'd never seen a top fuel car run.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see them. They want everybody. Our pits actually exited the concert, so everybody there walked by our pits. So I bet we had 40% of them walk through our pits.
Awesome.
And look at the car. So we want to get some fans out here.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you,
Scott. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for everything
Scott
you did.
Palmer.
It was great.
Oh, no. And we're going to keep on going. We'll be back out here tonight. Good luck with the Pro Mods.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes, Scott Palmer. We are here at the Texas Motorplex. Let's bring on the voice of the NHRA, Alan Reinhart. I'm going to get to our sponsors. Trust me, all our sponsors, we love them, we need them, and we're going to get to them. But since we are live, here he is, AR. What's up, Alan? How are you?
I'm great. I'm home for a day and a half and swapping suitcases and heading back out tomorrow morning.
You were at St. Louis, the double divisional. Would you have 650 cars out there? That is insanity. And I saw some posts on the web about like, hey, NHRA is doing something right if you get 650 cars for a divisional.
776 tech cards.
776 tech cards. That's insanity.
Yeah, it was big, and that many cars and trying to do a double divisional. We got it all done on Sunday night, and a lot of effort by a lot of people, but it was a spectacular race. We had great weather. We had just amazing side-by-side racing, and you start with probably the first big surprise of the weekend. Shane Westerfield doesn't qualify.
What?
Didn't qualify. And then you look at some of the points implications that are going on in the other classes. Brad Burton has been leading the world in stock for the last few months, the last few weeks, whatever. He's been leading for a while. Second in points is Joe Santangelo. Third in points is Jimmy Hidalgo, and they raced each other in the final. We had 170 stockers, so you can only qualify 128. And it was just a great run. It was a really, really good weekend. A couple of small on-track incidents, but overall it was a pretty clean deal. And 776 tech cards.
That's amazing. Well, and that says, a lot of people, I know there was a D1 race that got postponed, and, who knows?
No, canceled, not postponed.
Canceled. And so maybe people looking for that last divisional as far as points championships go, came down there. Doesn't matter, right? Like, you get that many racers in one place, you're doing something right. But now we're looking ahead towards it. Like, feel free to drop any notes from the race this past weekend. I saw Doug Gordon, the return of Doug Gordon. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it went well. He returned by parking the thing in the winner's circle, and now there's a lot of people talking points there. Sean Bellamere's out. He needed to win the race in order to still have a chance, and he ended up being runner-up in the final to Doug. Joey Severance won again, and he's had such a roller coaster of a year. There have been times when he's left the racetrack with a headache because the car shook so bad, and there have been times when he just looked like he was unstoppable. I wouldn't say he looked unstoppable this weekend, but he had a really good car. Both he and Sean Cowie ran over 281 miles an hour, which is top 5 speeds all time for a blown car. But the weather conditions were really good. The Division 3 staff does a great job. And then Kurt Johnson was there. He just came out, to hang out and say hi, and ended up getting pressed into service. So he was kind of overseeing most of the track prep all weekend long. But it was just a really, really solid event. 4 long days, but it was a really solid event.
Great stuff. And now we turn our attention to the Texas Fall Nationals. I am here at the Texas Motorplex in the Tim's Trucking Suite. Thank you to Tim for allowing us to have. They're getting ready for a production meeting next door. I'm going to run over there. We got Pro Mods tonight. Palmer just talking about the Nitro Sideshow and the great showcases that we have done. Talked a little bit about Travis Pastrana, but the whole time we are pushing people. Come out to see championship drag racing this weekend. And Alan, I can tell you that I'm feeling this intensity building, thinking about the points, Justin Ashley by 14 over Steve Torrence, by 30 over Brittany, by 35 over Mike Salinas, 43 over Antron, 64 over Josh Hart, even Doug Coletta only 88 points out of the lead. Anybody's racing Top Fuel. If you're a favorite of any of those drivers, you're a fan, you should be in on this. You should be in on this season and be flying your flag right now.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be. There's so many fans that have made the Texas Motorplex a tradition. This race has been there, 34 years, 35 years, something like that, maybe longer than that. When did Billy build the place? 82, 83?
86.
But, was it 86?
Yeah, that's right back there. That's 1986. The inside wall of the suite's beautiful. 86. I think it's 37 years, but over 5 decades, right? I use that stat. It's a little bit of a twist of the numbers, but 5 decades of action in 37 years. 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2001s, and 2020s. Little sleight of hand with the numbers, but yes, it's amazing to see the reaction this place has with people coming out. Even the concert goers, they know about the Plex.
Well, and there's so many people that have made it an annual tradition. Whether you're inside or outside of Texas, I know there are a lot of fans that's just a vacation deal. They are going to go. It's October. It's Texas. The weather's usually nice. Not blistering hot or sweltering humidity, and the cars are going to run fast. Years ago, before I started doing my NHRA stuff like I'm doing now, roommate and I, Friday night, literally, what are you going to do this weekend? I don't know. What are you going to do this weekend? I don't know. What are you? They're racing at that new place in Texas. And we threw some stuff in the back of my truck and drove all night just because we wanted to go see the super track that we had heard so much about. And, obviously then since I've started this job, I've been there a number of years in a row now, but the place has always had kind of a mystique about it. And even though it has been around so long, you still pull in, you look at the tower, you look at the amenities, you look at the stuff, and the place doesn't look, it's not an old rundown racetrack. It is sparkling and shiny, and the surface has been spectacular all these years. Everybody told Billy, you're crazy to put full concrete down it. That's an expense. It's stupid. You don't need it. And, he and I were having a conversation, I don't know, last year, a couple of years ago after the event was over. And he said, it's the biggest accidental investment I ever made because in 30 whatever years, we've never had to resurface a racetrack. Tell me another racetrack that hasn't had to resurface, change, replace the asphalt, do this stuff. It was ground once, but other than that, it's lived up and, still puts out just spectacular numbers when the weather's right. And it's one of the granddaddy races on the tour, no question.
The Bellagio before the Bellagio, and since they redid everything, for those that don't know, a couple of years ago we had that winter freeze here in Texas, and there was a lot of damage, and they were able to upgrade. Like this suite, I want everybody to see, like just the look of it all is pretty amazing. You've got great cabinets, and you've got outside there's the track. Like they have gone to the nines with this. They've gone to the nines with the suites and all the amenities here at the Motorplex, renewed media center. So if you've been in the past, you got to come out again. It is pretty amazing. And the Stampede of Speed out. It's like 10 days long. Like we're a couple of days in, and we still got a long way to go. NHRA is just showing up. The trucks are rolling in. They're laying out the pits. It's been a very cool and interesting experience. But we have been promoting drag racing like wildfire. You should have seen the concert. 15,000 fans who just didn't know anything about what this sport is. They now walk away with an impression.
I saw some pictures and some stuff online. Yeah, it looked like that you guys were definitely having a big time out there. I know that one of the big talks in the pits in St. Louis was, top dragster, top sportsman. We got to get out of here because we got to get to Texas. We're going to take part in that shootout on Tuesday. You're going to put money up for grabs. They're going to come out and run for it. And so that's just, another element. The idea to do this and make it such a festival and then try to get so many other things included so that you're not just reaching out to drag racing fans. You're not just preaching to the choir, so to speak. You are exposing other people like the concert the other night. A tremendous concept. And, I know that the state has gotten involved and the local municipalities have all gotten involved. And, Billy loves doing things big, and this is about as big as it gets.
It's big. Let's talk funny cars. We get ready for the weekend. We got the big champions dinner happening on Wednesday night. All the past winners and, of course, defending race winners. Ron Capps is going to feature that. But he's 46 points behind Robert Hight. Definitely very close. Hagan is 103 back. John Force 114 back. Bob Tasca 170 back. And to me, those are the guys that are in the conversation. No offense to anybody else, right? I don't want anybody to be upset. But it doesn't seem realistic. And Hagen even spoke to Hagen. We were hanging out at the concert, and Ashley from Tony Stewart Racing was doing quotes, and he basically said the quote that matters: if we don't do something at this race, we're out of it. And that was Matt Hagen's comment himself in a moment of like casual reflection. If we don't do something big here, we're out of it. Luckily, this is a track that he typically does pretty well at. They won a couple in a row, I think 3 overall. Caps won last year, but the years previous, I remember taking pictures of Dickie Venables in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, I think he wants to ride Oliver too. That's long been on his bucket list. I assume that Oliver's going to be back this year.
He's back. He's been a big part of this whole thing. Poor Oliver. Just he's done 1,000,000 70s. That's for sure.
But I agree with what Matt said, and I think that the same thing. I was going to mention that about Tasca being 170 back. If he leaves Texas and doesn't close the gap a little bit, then I think realistically, his chances are basically over. And even if he goes out and wins the last 2 races, if you've got 4 guys in front of you, they're not all going to fall apart. You've got to be closing the gap on the ones in front of you, because once we leave here, there's only 8 rounds of competition left. And yes, I know it's 1.5 points in Pomona, and that changes the math a little bit, but you still have got to be in the conversation. If your hope is, okay, we can still win it if we go to Pomona and Robert loses first round or doesn't qualify, you ain't got much hope.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. And, it just is what it is, right? Like baseball, they just had their playoffs. A bunch of teams entered. Some teams are defeated. That's it. It's unfortunate, the cruel end. In drag racing, we don't have a cruel end. You get to continue on and maybe even win a race. But it's unlikely or not possible for you to win the championship. Don't be upset by it. Everybody weighing in. Blake in Wyoming is out there. Says what's up to Joe and Alan. That is cool. Mr. Ann out there. Alan, the wealth of knowledge. No disrespect to Joe's knowledge, but by far the best combo of the year. Don't worry, I'm not about to. Alan is the tuner of the crew on the announced staff. Austin Coyle said to me one day that Alan could tune a nitro car, and at that point I said, okay, now I know. Let's talk a little bit, though, about Pro Stock, where Erica Enders, I don't want to call it a coronation, but if she leaves here with a 120-point lead, that's exactly what it is. And Erica loves Texas. This is her home race, Houston's her home race, but Texas is her home state. And I fully expect that Team Elite to come in here and continue to go rounds. Will they win? Will they runner-up? Will they semi? Like, who knows? But in the end, this team has been strong all year long. And the Erica Enders fans that I'm talking to, they're feeling it. They've got their chests puffed out.
And they should. The way she's been running. And even when they've had, stumbles or toe stubs or whatever you want to call it during the course of the season, it's always been, okay, that's it. It's behind us. Let's go get them next week. And, a couple of times guys have taken Hail Mary shots at her and made it pay off. And a couple of times they've had an issue here or there, not very often, and they've ended up being out early. But they have just been so solid and so consistent throughout the year. And the attitude that we are here, we have the best car, we have the best team, we have the best driver, and if we don't win this race, that's fine. Go to the next one. We're going to win that one. Let's just, load up and go. And that's what they've been doing. On the weekends when they haven't accomplished the task, it's like, okay, how fast can we get to the next one so we can do it there? And they've just been solid all year. They said they believe best car, best team, best driver, and you could make a strong argument for that. There are certainly some other cars out there that can run with her. But over the course of the year, there's a reason that she had such a big point lead at the end of the regular season. There's a reason that she's stretched it out again when we got into the countdown. There's a reason that she's got more wins than everybody else out there. This year, they just look like they've got it all going on. And anybody that's ever raced has had strings like that. I don't care if you are a street racer at your street class racer at your local racetrack. You've got in a position where whether it's 2 or 3 weeks in a row, or you just can't be beat. Yeah. And they have basically done that throughout the course of the year. Overall, there have been a few times that they didn't accomplish a goal, but they look like they've been in championship form since they unloaded the thing in Pomona.
Now that you remind me, Alan, there was a time where I won 3 weeks in a row at my local track, Marosa Motorsports Park. I had no idea what I was doing, but I won 3 weeks in a row, and it's just something about racing. You know what I expect, though? I expect, I don't want to say I expect red lights against Erica, but I expect people to take shots, right? Like now you're getting to that desperation time. You want to get her out. people are going to start taking shots and maybe stepping over the line.
Well, we've seen that throughout the course of the year as well, and it's always been part of pro stock. It's been part of basically every category in drag racing. But if you go up there and that I'm 400s back in performance, my only shot is to try to get off the starting line first with a double O or with a team light. The problem with that philosophy, if Erica averages 65 light, okay, but Erica doesn't. Erica goes up there for the most part, sets up to be 20. And okay, you're perfect. You get 2 against her. In a lot of cases, that ain't enough. So even if you want to come up and take that shot, she's not likely to leave the door open far enough that you can steal one like that. But you come up and take a crack at it. You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. And all you fans out there, I'm seeing the numbers like bump up against the ceiling out there. We need retweets and we need shares. Texas Fall Nationals coming up, Stampede of Speed. Let's get this one out there, guys. Yes, on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell. We need you. We want you. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Joey Gladstone, Matt Smith. Yes, there are others, but I'm feeling like this is a battle worth talking about. Angie is 90 back. Angie putting on the Facebook that they found some power, that they're continuing to swap out parts. Angie is still in it. Angie's had a couple of moments this year where maybe if it had gone a different direction, like the final round a couple of weeks ago, but it's not too late yet. Like Angie can still get back in, but this is the race she's got to do it, right? Like Angie Smith wins Dallas, then she's going to be in the conversation. Angie Smith doesn't win Dallas, and it's Matt and Joey in the final or something, then you got a 2-horse race. That's the way I see it. How do you see it?
That's probably pretty close. I mean, obviously, if Angie gives up 20 points, she wouldn't mathematically be out of it, and she's only got 2 people in front of her. Unlike in the funny car war, where you've got 4 or 5 people if you're 100 points back that you're going to have some kind of a collapse on. So I think that if she gains points here, whoever wins the race, whatever, if she gains points here, then I think she's still a part of the conversation. If she wins the race, then I think she's front and center in the combination. Matt made the statement a couple of weeks ago, I don't care if it's me or Angie that wins the title, as long as it's one of us. That is our goal as a team. And, she certainly looks like she's got a motorcycle that can get it done. But I think she needs to gain points. She doesn't necessarily have to win the race, but she needs to gain points.
It's still drag racing, right? Like at some point you could have a parts failure. You could just get beaten on a great race. Like you just never know. You got to go down the racetrack. And in the end, the racing gods have to be on your side.
That never hurts.
That never hurts. All right. And finally, let's talk a little bit about just Fuel Tech Pro Mod. Stevie Fast out here tuning up Jim Whiteley's car last night. We're still wondering, is Ricky gonna show? I don't know if you heard anything. If Ricky is not gonna show, I will be stunned, but it is what it is. What do you know about that?
Well, I talked to him last week, and he said he's not coming. He said, that's it. He's done hanging it up. We'll see, because he leads the league in retiring. But he said he's not coming. He said, doesn't believe he can realistically win the championship, and he's not going to spend the money to drag stuff all the way out there if he can't do that. So he said he's not coming.
Well, I'm scanning the entry list, and it is race week, and I don't see Ricky on the entry list, and I'm just stunned. I'm genuinely stunned. I understand. First of all, he's Ricky Smith, right? He's got nothing to prove to anybody. But Chris Thorne were to go out in the first round, and the door would be open. It's like, oh, what might have been? But then again, when you've had a career like Ricky, one more championship on the pile isn't going to change the way anybody thinks about it.
Well, and he does it for a living. So he's looking at, cost to go versus potential, return on investment, so to speak, and just doesn't see it as being a good investment. So I understand the business side of it. I'm sure the racer in him is going, we got to go. But he also isn't, 30 years old anymore, when it's like you will race 6 nights a week and just keep loading up and dragging on to the next one. So there comes a time when you just look at it a little bit more pragmatically, and I think that's the situation he's in now.
And nobody wants to say that, but that is such a fact. Ricky and Chad do all the work themselves, and it's hard. It's difficult on your body. There's a lot of work, lifting, just things that nobody thinks about. They see the car going down the racetrack. Alan, any final thoughts before we let you go? I know you got to get ready to come out here and join us. You guys start rolling on Thursday. The Lucas Oil Series cars are going to step out onto the track. But any final thoughts? St. Louis, divisional, Stampede of Speed, Texas, take it.
Well, I think we're riding some pretty good momentum coming in off of the St. Louis race, both the divisional, the double divisional last week and the national before. And, give us good weather and we'll take care of the rest of it. The Motorplex always delivers, big numbers, spectacular moments. Friday night, I think, is going to be a lot of fun again with the qualifying bonuses that are up for grabs. There will be 4 Nitro qualifying sessions. So race fans, if you want to come out on Friday, they're going to have one afternoon. And then obviously that'll be the tune-up for Friday night when everybody will be swinging for the extra cash. But, it's a happening. Saturday night's the draw auction. Brian and I will be over there in the Champions Club at the end of activity on the racetrack, raising money for a great cause. And that's free to attend for anybody. Come out and see if maybe there's some treasure, some piece of memorabilia, something. They always have just a wide selection of stuff over there at the draw auction that's race related, including usually racing experiences. If you want to, next year be a VIP crew member or do something, there's usually something like that up for grabs. And, it's just going to be a week full of all kinds of stuff. It already has been started, but the weekend we'll wrap the thing up on Sunday night, and everybody will catch their breath, and we'll head for Vegas.
No, I'm going to pass out first, and then catch my breath, and then head to Vegas. Alan, great job as usual. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. I will be flying in tomorrow.
All right. See you then. There he goes, the voice of the NHRA, Alan Reinhart. All right, guys, we're just a couple of minutes away. Camry Caruso was hanging around at the track. We're going to bring her on the show, but first I got to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to go WFO. Literally, without them, I couldn't do this show. Phillips-Connect.com. For those of you in the transportation industry, if you got trucks and trailers running down the road, Tim, you might want to get connected technology that keeps you safe, whether it be tire inflation, whether it be loaded, unloaded, etc. Go to Phillips-Connect.com. Justin Ashley, the points leader. Bernie Speed Shop, Ocala, Florida, over $5 million in inventory down there. If you're buying or selling, they do consignment. If you want to do a frame-off restoration, check out Bernie's. And the very least you can do is just go check out their social media and give them a like. That way you can keep up on all that they do. A little bit earlier in the show, we told you about FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. Go to Supercomp, go to Super Gas, go to the big money bracket races, Pro Mod, Top Sportsman, Top Dragster. So many of the successful racers use FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, and you can too, even for your little street car. It's not just a racing thing, it's a transmission thing with FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. The same is true for Total Seal piston rings. The leader in ring seal technology. I have spoken with so many different engine builders. For instance, David and Ray Barton. David's got to come in here. He's got to show up at the race. He's got to stage. He becomes the Constant Aviation Factory Stock Showdown champion. He is our latest guest on Hidden Horsepower. And he tells the whole story about ring seal and why it's important, etc. Go check it out. But if you're building an engine, go to Total Seal first. They will set you up and maybe find that Hidden Horsepower, totalseal.com. Sam Tech, we're in Texas. Brian Massengale reached out to me. He's like, you're the voice of the Stampede of Speed. That's cool. He's going to be out here. If you want to learn to build engines, you want to be a machinist, we need you to become a machinist. Our country needs CNC programmers and machinists and EFI tuners. We were just having a great conversation about EFI. Samtech has got courses and all. Go to samtech.edu. Maybe you just want to drive a dragster. Maybe you don't want the responsibility of carrying the future of our nation and you just want to go have a little fun. Well, the Dragster Adventure at frankhawley.com is a great gift. And yes, it is holiday time. Black Friday coming soon. Don't stress. Just get the Dragster Adventure as a gift for the drag racing fan in your life, and they will love you forever because you gave them an experience, not something they want to return or send back to Amazon. frankhawley.com, all kinds of great information. And we're in Texas, home of Rodax Coffee. Marvin Rodak has been out here all week. 817-924-6821. Plan to get some Rodax coffee while you're here. Call him, and maybe he can, hook you up. You can drive it home. You don't have to ship it. 817-924-6821. Try those hot sauces and spice rubs. It is better than anything you've had. That's what I believe. And I love it. And I'm going to take some home too. Marvin Rodak will be out here. Plus our great Patreons. These are people who are VIP members of WFO Radio, and we greatly appreciate them from all over the world, including Australia, like Torque Calibration Services Australia. All right, time for our next guest. So impromptu. She had no idea she was going to be a guest on WFO Radio until I'm like, hey, do you want to be a guest on WFO Radio? And here she is, Camry Caruso. What's up, Camry?
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Look at this.
Good.
Here we are. We're doing a show.
Yes.
You know a little bit about this.
A little
Why are
bit.
you out here so early? What's going on?
Well, my rig is on its way. It was supposed to be here a few hours ago, but they had a little bit of a tire problem. So
Tire problem on the rig. Better than on the race
Yeah.
car.
that's
So,
true.
all right, 3 races to go. Yeah, we've got fans of Camry out there, by the way. All you fans of Camry, you need to share. Can we put your Coke down there? Yeah, like, oh, there, or just on the side. There it is. Just a perfect spot. We're very fast and loose here on WFO. I know you do a show as well, so you know exactly what it's all about. But you got 3 races to go now. Look back, reflect on your season. Like a year ago at this time, did you even know you were going to be running Pro Stock?
It was very new still at this point because we announced it last year at this race that we were going pro stock racing. So it's still very new to the idea, but it's crazy how fast it's progressed.
Well, exactly. I remember watching you out there at Arizona.
Yes.
Run, testing, learning, going through the process. How do you do a burnout in one of these things? And to see you then, I'm so glad that I got you, and see you now, you've come a long way in what is really a short amount of time. What kind of lessons can you share about that journey?
Honestly, it's been crazy. To think, I was actually just watching all my GoPro videos from when we tested in Bradenton prior to even Phoenix, and till like last weekend in St. Louis, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just night and day how the team works together, how the car works, how I've progressed, like how everything is going in such a short time, for not even a year with the same team. So it's interesting to see, but I'm super thankful for all of the learning.
Confidence, right? Like you gain confidence by doing and succeeding. You've made a final round. You've taken out Greg Anderson. You've won on hole shots. When you look back at the season, what do you look at? It doesn't have to be one moment, but give me a moment that was a like light going on. I can do this. I'm a pro stock racer kind of moment.
It was kind of when I raced Greg in Houston, I was like, because I told Jim, I told my dad, I told my grandpa right before I went up, I was like, there's no way I'm running this round. Like, it's Greg. Like, let's just be honest. And when we actually won, I was like, oh my gosh, we can beat Greg. But it was super surprising just because I watched him race for years and he's accomplished so much in the class and just as a racer in general. So when we won against him, I was like, oh wow, maybe we do belong here.
Well, right. Sorry, Greg. Right, but that's
I know,
what people.
right.
That's what It's a great compliment of being one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
Yes.
That people are going to measure themselves, and it's drag racing, and you're going to lose sometimes.
Yes.
And you were able to get that done, but there's still more ground to cover. So let's talk about like, okay, like what are you working on? Like when you think about, and if you don't want to let your competitors know, just gloss over it. But what areas do you want to get better at? Like where do you think like, all right, now this is the next thing that I got to work on that I can raise my game to the next level?
I mean, I'm super transparent with everything, but like if you look at like even the computer screens about the consistency on the shifting and everything, like to see where we came from and where we are now is awesome. But like we still have a lot of work to do on basically every front. Like I could be 00 every single round. So obviously I have work to do there. I've been 11 and 9 and I think it was 15 and 20 something last race, but well, there's racers out here that go 00 every single round.
Yes.
So I can work on that. The guys can always work on the car. Like the cars, you can always improve somehow. But I think that as a team, we just have to know that we're confident in our car, in our team, and that'll speak for itself.
Get laps, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no substitute
for amount of laps out of any team in pro stock. Like we have the least by a lot. So to know that we can actually run with them, I think is pretty impressive.
So I got to start a pro stock car one time, and to me, what was really shocking is the way the clutch is pushing back on you,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody really describes that. So like when you deck it and you're feeling that thing pushing back, if you push down on it, you're gonna have a bad reaction time. If you lift up on it, you're cheating the clutch. There's just so much there that doesn't get communicated. Can you try to explain like how you handle that? Because you have to do the same thing every single time.
Yes. So in my first tries in Bradenton, January of this year, driving a clutch car. I drove a clutch car last year, but driving the Pro Stock car, like when you said, when you deck it, it pushes back. And if you're not prepared for it to push back, you're going to either leave before the tree cam comes down, or you're going to cheat the clutch and then you wreck the clutch. So this year has been like huge on, okay, know that it's going to push back before you get on the two-step and do not cheat the clutch. So, but when you do push down harder, you are worse on the tree. So it's definitely super finicky. You have to be super mindful of it. But I think consistency and laps help with it.
And just like everything, right? The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Mm-hmm.
But you only get 3 chances to win a race before the season is out. And okay, I would imagine that's on your list of goals. Get a win, to do it in the countdown when everybody's at their best. It's definitely going to be tough. Give us a little preview for the Fall Nationals and beyond. You know, as time runs out on your rookie season, probably, I mean, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be Rookie of the Year, but
Hopefully.
well, you've run the full season in Pro Stock at the highest level. You made a final round. I don't know who the other person is that's battling for it, but right. How are you going to get a win?
Well, my guys know that I want to win this year with no excuses or anything. So we're just going to give it our all, focus on our team and our race car and our lane, and not really worry about who's in the other lane, because that's where you get distracted. You have to just beat yourself and your car. So we're just going to stay focused and hope for the best.
What do you think about your dad's starting line antics? I love him. I love him. Yeah, I'm putting her on the spot. I can do this. Mark is probably out there, but this guy is the most fired up of anybody on the starting line. He's your dad, so there's that whole like, oh, my dad kind of thing, right? But you know, he's also your biggest cheerleader, and your grandfather. He's a nice intermediary, right? He's like, yeah.
Papa is definitely way more calm, but he's always calm. Like, you can't rile him up. I don't know how, but Dad, I think it's cute. He's excited. And I think it's cool that he can stand behind the race car and let me drive and not be in one himself yet. So whatever he needs to do.
Wait. Yet.
We'll see.
All right. Yeah, because this guy is a pro mod racer. This guy loves to race as well. I like hearing that. I like the word yet. All right.
Keep pushing him every test session. I'm like, you want to bring your fire suit? Make some runs.
Make some runs, Mark.
He's
Make
like,
some after the year is over.
How about you just get through your year and then we'll talk? I'm like, okay.
That's good strategy. Well, that would be special to be out here racing with and maybe against your dad like that.
I want to beat him so bad.
That's what it is. It's not like, oh, family good time moment. It's like, I want to kick my dad's butt.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
At least we know. Camry, thank you for joining us
Of course.
on the show.
Thank you.
Just called her. Okay, you want to come in? Yes. And here she is. So thank you, Camry.
Of course. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Camry Caruso with us here on WFO Radio. All right, get some comments in the comment section, guys, as we get ready to roll on out of here. Let's see what's going on. If you're anywhere near the Texas Motorplex, come out, one of us. The Champions Dinner is, I don't think it's sold out yet. $100. You get either filet or prime rib. I don't know exactly what it is. You get a couple of drinks. You get a photograph with all last year's winners, framed. You get some one-on-one time. Like, we're going to have a nice intimate setting this Wednesday night. It's going to be great. It's like $100. Go to the website, find out more information. We got Pro Mod, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman, serious racing here tonight. A lot of money. I think $15,000 or something. It's a lot of money. Forgive me for not knowing the exact purse, but great stuff going on. And then Thursday, Texas Fall Nationals. Everybody is loading in as we speak. And I ask you to share the show even at this point. Let's see what everybody's got to say out there, and put your comments and thoughts on this whole exercise up there in the comment section. Like Rick says, hey, Camry, your first wallet is coming this weekend. All right. Great interview. Good luck. Thank you very much. I'm very impressed with Camry's year. It's been a good year. It's a good year. Go get them. Pro Stock Dreams, getting my Pro Stock license. Lauren, how about Lauren? How about Camry? I asked her when she's going to win her first race. For the most part, she wants it. If you could pick any Pro Stock driver to get your first win in Pro Stock. Oh, Lauren, I'm so sorry. That would have been a great question to ask Camry. And, oops. Let's see what else. Jim, nice job with the remote. Yeah, I'm very surprised. And thanks to Tim and Tony, to Tim's Trucking, who has invited us into their suite. Tim's a friend, obviously. And they got a big production meeting going on next door. And so I was like, hey, can I use your suite? And they're like, yeah. Actually, they offered it. I didn't even have to ask, which is even better. even better. Monica is out there. Looks like you're having a fantastic time at the Stampede of Speed, doing a great job. Thank you very much. Let's remember, this is work, okay? So we're, nose to the grindstone out here. It's been nonstop. Best moments so far, walking out in front of 15,000 people with Matt Hagan and introing Matt, three-time champ, three-time winner, and he's pumping up Brett Young, and the crowd is going crazy, and they are loving the idea that drag racing is a thing. They got to experience jet cars. They got to experience top fuel dragsters, and the average age, I don't know, 20, 22, 23, young people all out here, had no idea what drag racing was, and now they do. You heard. Let's see. Yeah, well, you guys are raising the skew. It's maybe I'll say it's 25 because of you guys. Average goes up. Hey, Joe, looks like I'm going to have to put it on my bucket list. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Stampede of Speed. Plan for next year already. And you got to get here the whole week. I'm talking, from Funny Car Chaos on. I saw and experienced Funny Car Chaos for the very first time, guys. It was really great. Chris Graves and his team have something special going on. And, they're burning nitro. Like, where else do you get to burn nitro and compete? They've got a great niche. Everybody loves it. It was awesome. Did you get some barbecue out there? I got to judge a barbecue bean competition. Great beans. Excellent stuff. I gave my opinion. The most mild of after effects. But I did not do brisket or ribs. I wanted to, but I didn't have time. Daddy-daughter moments are the best. Let's see. So Matt had Joe acting as his bodyguard. Yeah, it was Hagan and like Stickman Joe out there looking like a tiny, insignificant little nothing. Nebbish next to Matt Hagan. But hey, it all worked out. It all worked out in the end. All right, guys. That is going to do it. I really appreciate everybody for supporting WFO Radio. We are live at the Texas Motorplex and the Stampede of Speed. It has been so amazing so far. This is definitely a bucket list race. You've got to put this one on your bucket list, if you even have a bucket list, because it is that good. There's just so much going on is really the deal. There's just so much going on, and the whole world is here. Whether it be rolling to the starting line last night. Like, we didn't know Stevie Fast was going to go out there and make a run. No, Stevie Fast goes out and makes a run. Frankie Madman Taylor makes a run. Alex Laughlin has got the vet out here. We have Nitro Pro Mods. We had a bunch of them. Nitro Pro Mods. Studzilla. And it cost $10. Now, I can't promise that's going to be the price next year. $20, but $10 if you brought a can of food. We raised a bunch of food for the hungry in this area. Like, just amazing, amazing things. Let's see. Good day, y'all. Eddie from Garafolos, thank you for the video last night with Sammy Eubanks, planning the trip for next year. And that's the deal. We got to build it. You don't just say you're having an event, everybody just trusts you and goes. That's not how events work. You got to build it over time. Last year was year one. This year they brought me in as the voice of the Stampede of Speed. I'm super stoked to be doing it. Next year, I'm like, hopefully you trust me after all of these years. And when I tell you something's good, it's good. And when I tell you something stinks, it stinks. And you realize that, right? I'm always working on that. This one is special. It is good if you like drag racing, which I do. And so it is amazing. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Texas Fall Nationals, championships on the line, 4 qualifying sessions, bonus money for the number 1 qualifiers. They're going to put them on the saddle again. We got DJ Laney down there playing music. We've got all kinds of extra stuff going on in this deal. Oh, Tequila Commissario is very tasty, says Dragster Jeff. Yes, it is. This guy, Monday Morning Racer, has been out here the whole time. You got to go to his YouTube channel and check out all the videos he's putting out. Cranking out the content, guys. Cranking out the content. Go check out Monday Morning Racer. Lee Kraft doing a great job. Go, Krista, go. Everybody is excited. We're super excited about everything that is going on. One more time, just big thanks to the people who make it possible. Bernie's Speed Shop, Bernie's.com, Phillips Connect, FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, Total Seal Piston Rings. Couldn't be doing this without those guys. Samtech.edu, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, Marvin Rodak, Rodak's Coffee, the best coffee in the world. CIP1, California Import Parts for you Volkswagen air-cooled guys, and Torque Calibration Services of Australia. They have been so helpful to me. Yeah, I know more comments straggling in. Mopar Man, There we go. Talking to Monday Morning Racer. Great show today, and that will do it. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And hit the archive. There will be an ignition, from what I hear, later on today. Maybe there'll be an ignition. Giovanni in Miami. I might be on track with a little pro mod stuff. In the meantime, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time right here on WFO. And big thanks, Tim's Trucking. Tony, guys, great job. You can be loud now.
Thanks, Joe.
No, let me be loud.
Hey,
the live studio audience.
This is WFO Radio.